Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to make a specialized awl or punch for leather to be used to make stitching holes. Now you could use the bushcraft awl that I made, but it's kind of thick on the end here. So the plan is we're going to use this drill bit. And as you can see, it's just tapered on the end, and that was just done by putting it in a drill and sanding that down. Okay, so we're gonna have a very consistent hole. And the other thing that this can be used for when we're done is you could heat this up, dip it in alcohol, clean it good. If you have a splinter, you can use this to help get the splinter out. So it's going to be kind of a dual purpose kind of thing. It's going to be small, and I think it's going to be very, very cool. So these are the items you're going to need: the drill bit, a piece of antler tine. You're going to need a nut. Now, this happens to be a acorn nut. It doesn't have to be an acorn nut, but we're going to end up rounding this off, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to put this stud in here. And this is probably chrome plated or nickel plated. It doesn't stick to a magnet, so I'm hoping there's brass underneath there. But we're going to put this into the drill, and we're going to run this on the sander. And what it's going to do is it's going to round it off, and when it gets to a smaller diameter, this dome part of the acorn nut is just going to fall off. So I'll show you that. So you need some kind of nut. Now if you already have a nut without the dome on it, you're golden. And then this is just a stud to hold the toilet down, and it's brass, so we're going to cut a little piece of that. Then I just have here a little screw. I might use this, I might not. When we get to that, I'll show you. But the first thing we have to do is we have to drill a hole. We're going to drill a pilot hole through here. You want to get the straightest part of it, so I'll probably put a line down here. And then I'll take you over to the vise, and we'll drill a hole. And then I'll bring you back. Next step is we're just going to round this off and round off the top. I got my belt sander here. Make sure you wear dust protection. And if you have a vacuum in the back like I do, turn that on. Alright, so you get the idea. I'll finish that up, and I'll bring you over to the table. Alright, I forgot to mention, these aren't the antlers that Danny gave me. I'm almost run out of those. You'll see a bunch of projects coming up for those things, or you have seen them. Okay, so now we got some figuring out to do. So, in case you haven't figured out, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to drill a little hole right in the middle of this bolt. Okay, and I'm going to insert this in, so it'll be sticking out about an inch. Okay, so I need at least a quarter of an inch sticking out of this, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, and you're going to actually be able to screw it together and then screw it apart again. Okay, so everything's going to be encapsulated in here. So we got to figure out where we could go, and we're going to want to put a lanyard hole here. So we figure a lanyard hole goes there, so we're safe to there. So this would be how far in this would go. And then we need at least, all right, we got plenty of room. Okay. So we're gonna drill this hole, insert this into here from this end, and we'll JB weld that in, because there's no pressure coming out, it's only pushing in, so it'll actually bottom out and that'll be sturdy. And then we need to cut the stud, epoxy that into the top part. So let's see. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're golden. This goes here like that. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we could cut it right there. Hopefully I figured that out right. If I didn't, we'll try again. So I'm just going to cut that with a hacksaw. Pretty boring. I'll bring you back when I'm done with that. All right, so I got it split in half, and then what I did was I enlarged the holes from the inside, left the small one on the outside. This one we're going to put a design in there, so. But I just wanted to get that center line. Okay, I got it pretty good. Now, this is going to get JB welded into there like that. So what we have to do is we have to drill our hole in there, and then we have to round this off so that it fits in this side. And we may have to enlarge that hole, but we'll see how small we get it. So I'm going to show you how to do that first. Like I said, I'm going to chuck this up in the drill and then put it onto the belt sander. So let me get that set up and I'll show you how that looks. Let me see if this light makes a difference. That's a little better. So I have it chucked up in the drill, and I'm going to do it up here where the slack is. Hopefully that shows up. I mean, it's almost done already. It goes that fast. All right, I'll finish this up and I'll bring you over the table. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so we got that done. It is brass. Now we have to get this to fit in this hole. So I'm just going to use a Dremel. Hopefully you can see I got a bit of a taper on there. So we'll get it to fit and then we'll epoxy that in. I'm actually thinking of using a washer around there, a brass washer. But I don't know how that's going to look. If I decide to do that, I'll bring you back and show you that. And then on our bolt, I drilled a hole down the center. Again, nothing exciting to fit the drill bit. And I shortened the drill bit by about 1/4 of an inch. Again, nothing exciting. You just put it in a vise, hit it with a hammer, and it snaps off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this to size. We'll leave about, again, exact measurements don't matter for this. This is all just kind of going on the fly. But we'll leave about the same amount that this goes in here. Okay? That's how much we'll leave hanging out here. So I'll cut it off right about there. And again, nothing exciting. I'll just put it in a vise and use a hacksaw. So once I cut this off, epoxy this in, have this fit to here, on this side, I'll bring you back. All right, some reason my mind is wandering today. Okay, so I was doing this one to get this to fit, and I picked this one up. And I realized it before I went crazy and made it as big as that, but so I'm going to have a little play here, but I got a way to fix that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to screw this onto here. Okay? Just like that. We're going to place this in here, and I'm going to press fit that in. Okay? Then I'm going to JB weld on all those threads onto that. Needs to go in a little bit more. I'll get it just right. And then I'll JB weld this part into here. What you're seeing is I don't have that press fit in yet. And once it's all lined up, I'll set it this way. So JB weld, if any drips, will drip down into it, and then we'll be golden. And then I'll take this apart, and I'll JB weld this into there, and we'll almost be done. All right, I'll bring you back once this all part is JB welded into there. All right, so we got our JB welded in. Now I'm going to pop that out. I'm going to JB weld that in the same way I did this, and then I'll bring you back. Alright, so I have the two sides JB welded. And that's what she's going to look like. I have to drill the lanyard hole yet. And then I'm going to put this together. And I'm going to clean up all the edges, because as I tightened it down, I guess I put one of the sides in either too short, or probably the nut went in at a different angle, but that's okay because I planned on cleaning this up anyway. So we're going to make this all nice and flush and get this brown color off. So I'll do that with the Dremel with the sanding disc, and I'll show you how I do that. Alright, before I get at the Dremel, I decided I was going to, I don't know if I mentioned it, I think I might have. I decided I was going to put a brass shim washer in between there to kind of set it off. I think once everything is all cleaned up and polished, that's going to look really nice. So that's just a piece of brass plate. I drilled a hole, rough shaped it, and now I'm just going to JB weld it on. And then when that's dry, we'll come back and we'll make everything nice and smooth. I got my lanyard hole in it, and then we'll make some decorative element for the bottom here. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so epoxy or JB weld is all dry. Now I'm just going to take my Dremel with a drum sander on it, and I'm just going to clean her up, get everything even. Alright, so you get the idea. I'll finish that up and I'll bring you back. Alright, so I got it all ground down, sanded down. Hopefully the light's okay. Next thing I'm going to do is make a finial for the top. And I'll show you how I do that. Alright, so we're going to shape the finial. I just have a little hole with a screw into a piece of tine. We're going to do a little bit on the belt sander first, and then I'll take it over to the drill press. Alright, you get the idea. I'll bring this over to the drill press and I'll show you how I finish it up on there. I can't promise my fingers aren't going to be in the way, but get her running. It gets hot, so I let it sit for a little bit. I'm going to bring you back when I'm a little further along, and I'll show you how I put in some decorative elements with the file. Alright, so I just have 2 needle files. I'll put a little decoration on it. Alright, I like it. It's not perfect. It has a little bit of a wobble in it, but I'll sand it a little bit more. And then I'll bring you back over to the table and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so here's the finial. I'll trim off a little bit of this screw, and this is going to get JB welded into that original pilot hole that I made. Alright, so I got the finial done. Now all I'm going to do is screw this into here with just a little tiny bit of epoxy in there. And then we're going to take this over to the polishing wheel and we're going to polish it up. So I'll bring you back. Alright, we are almost done. For a very small project, this actually took me a long time. I I really should have timed it, but this wasn't one of those boom, 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 and it's done. Anywho, I'm loving the way it's looking. Now, the next step is we're going to give it a polish. So, we'll head over to the polishing wheel, and I'll show you how that works. Alright, so we're at my polishing wheel. I've shown this in other videos, but for the sake of anybody who hasn't seen it, this is my polishing machine. I made this. It's a motor that if I turn it that way, it spins that way. If I turn it this way, it spins that way. So it's great. It's a reversible motor. And when you're polishing, you always want the wheel to go down towards the stuff you're polishing, and you want your item to be down, okay? You could hold it like this also if you had to, but I don't recommend it. This way is the best, okay? You never want to hold it up here. Alright, so now I just have some white compound because I don't want to stain this. So I'm going to give it a spin. Alright, it's already got a little bit of a shine, so you get the idea. I'll finish this and I'll bring you back and we'll wrap it up. Alright, it's all polished up. I'm really digging it. Let's see if I can get a close up. Hopefully you can see the shine on there. I think the brass washer was a great idea. It sets it off. And of course, I know you want to see it opened. And there it is. There's our little leather punch splinter taker outer. Of course, we got to test it out. Here's a little piece of leather. Obviously, it goes right through that. So you get those nice small holes to start your needle. Here's a thick piece. It's pretty thick. Obviously, goes right through it. This was a cool project. Now, you take a lanyard, put your lanyard through here, and it hangs this way. Actually, I have a little strip. Let me grab it. All right, I just have a little leather thong here, whatever you want to call it, and that's how it will hang. Now, like I said, this was made specifically to be a partner of something else I'm making, which you'll see down the road. But I really dig this. This came out really nice. It's so smooth. So there you go, everyone. A little stitching punch, leather punch, splinter taker outer, whatever you want to call it. But this was a fun project. It was a lot of detail stuff that took a little while, but it was really, really fun for me. I love creating things like this. So there you have it. And like always, everyone, I appreciate all your views and I appreciate all your comments, and you know I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I hope you all are staying safe out there, and again, I thank you so much for everything you do for me. So hope you have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.